Hello, wonderful learners. Great morning to you all. How are you all doing? I'm sure you're okay. Okay, so today we're going to learn under our Christian literacy. A very, very important topic, an interesting topic under the Christian literacy. But before we go on to the topic for today, let's do a very, very, very quick revision on what we learned last week, Friday, under Christian literacy. Now we can remember that we learnt about Abraham's sacrifice. Can you remember it? Abraham's sacrifice. And I said that Abraham was a very good friend of God. Abraham was a very good friend of God. And one day, God told Abraham, take your son called Isaac. Take your son called Isaac and what? Go and kill him. And then Abraham woke up the next morning and carried his son Isaac into a very thick bush. Can you remember the story? Yes. And when he took Isaac to the bush, he laid Isaac on the floor and brought out his what? His knife. He wanted to use the knife to what? To kill Isaac. And when he brought out his knife to kill Isaac, God told Abraham, stop. He told Abraham to what? To stop. And then he brought a very big fat sheep for Abraham and told Abraham to kill the sheep and not kill Isaac. Can you see? Abraham obeyed God. He wanted to kill his own son just to make God what? Happy. And God was very happy with Abraham because Abraham obeyed him. So today, this leads us to a very interesting topic for today, which is what? Obedience. Yes, so we're going to be learning about obedience today. And obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Obedience is doing what you are asked to do. How many people likes doing what they're asked to do? Yes, I'm sure you're all good children and you like doing what you're asked to do. So when mommy asks you to do something in the house and you do it, it means you're obeying mommy. It means you're an obedient child. When you're asked to don't do this thing and you don't do it, it means you're an obedient child. How many of you wants to be an obedient child? Yes, I know you all want to be obedient children, and I'm sure you are all obedient children. So we're going to learn the meaning of obedience word by word. So we're going to say obedience. Everybody say obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Let's learn it one more time. Obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Yes, obedience is doing what you are asked to do. So our Bible character for today is still Abraham. Abraham always obeyed God. Abraham always what? Obeyed God. Anytime God tells Abraham to do something, immediately Abraham stands up and go and he does it immediately. Because he always wants to make God what? Happy. So anytime God tells Abraham, do this, Abraham immediately does what? He does it. Now, one day, when Abraham was still staying in his father's house, God told Abraham, stand up, pack all your clothes, and leave your father's house. And immediately, Abraham stood up, packed all his clothes, and left his father's house because God asked him to what? To do it. And he always wanted to obey God. And he always does what? He always obeys God. So Abraham became a very good friend of God because he always obeys God. Anytime God asks him to do something, he always do it. So Abraham became a very, very good friend of God. Abraham is a good friend of God because he always obeys God. Because he always obeys God. Now, I want you all to learn this that God loves obedient children. God loves what? Obedient children. So when you're obedient, God is always happy, very, very happy with you, and He will love you so much because He wants you to what? Always obey Him. And also learn that Abraham was very, very obedient. And I'm sure everybody wants to be like Abraham, right? Everybody wants to always obey God. Not only God, you obey mommy, you obey daddy, you obey aunties and uncles, you obey your teachers, you obey those people that what that are ahead of you. You obey. Now that is what good children always do. They are always what? Obedient. And you should know that God loves what? Obedient children. So who is going to be very obedient from now on? Yes, I know you all will be very obedient from now on. So before we end the class today, let's quickly remind ourselves the meaning of what? Obedience. And the meaning of obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Everybody say obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Obedience is doing what you are asked to do. Very good. And who was God's very good friend? Abraham. Yes, Abraham was God's very good friend because he always obeys God. He always obeys God. So I all want you to learn what obedience is and learn to be what? Obedient children. Thank you all and see you tomorrow. Bye.